Welcome into the Friday Betfred College Football Show. I am Drew Martin, breaking down three bets on the Saturday slate that I just got down on. So hopefully, guys, go 2-1, if not 3-0, bounce back from last week. Presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred gives you more. First game up here, guys, 3:30 Eastern on CBS. SEC game of the weekend, Georgia at Kentucky in Lexington, Kentucky. We are seeing the Bulldogs minus 2.5-point road favorites, 48.5 being the total. First off, guys, want to talk about the trend is your friend in sports betting, and the trend is to the under with both of these teams, particularly the Kentucky side. 1-9 to the under on the season. Georgia also 3-7 to the under, meaning if you bet every single Kentucky game, there's been 1 over and 9 unders. So if you're betting unders, you're making a ton of money. Combined, guys, that's 4 overs, 16 unders on the season. So if you bet every single game of Georgia and Kentucky to the under blindly, you had 16 wins, 4 losses. That's 12 units to the profit minus juice would be 10 units. $100 better would be up $1,000 just doing that blindly. To put it in perspective, guys, this Kentucky team has scored 21 points or less in their last 3 games. Those 3 games being Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. Now they're playing the defending national champions, mainly built on defense. That's the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to have a tough time going with it. You know, they got a kind of a banged up quarterback in Will Levis. They're run-heavy football team. They play good defense. Talking about the head coaches here, guys, we get Kirby Smart and Mark Stoops. If you don't know who Kirby Smart is, well, one, he's the head coach for Georgia. You likely know that if you're watching the video here, unless you're just coming for the bets, which is totally fine. But Kirby Smart made his way up defensive coordinator under Nick Saban at Alabama and pretty much brought it over to Athens. They won the national championship last year, running a great defense. Mark Stoops comes from the defensive side of things as well. He's the second longest tenured head coach in the SEC, doing something right there in Lexington, only behind Nick Saban, by the way. Guys, 6 straight unders for Kentucky, and their only over of the season was against a MAC team in Northern Illinois, and it went over by 1 point on the closing total. So this has been an under wagon talking about the Kentucky side of things. Just 2 more things on this game, then we'll get to the last 2 games. Seconds per snap, meaning how many minutes each team is letting off, or seconds in between each snap. Georgia, 27 seconds. That's number 111 in the country. There's only, 20 teams that go at a slower tempo. In Kentucky, 30.2 seconds in between each snap. More than a half a minute. They're letting kind of click off the play clock here, off the game clock too, if it's running. The only slower teams are Minnesota and Air Force. So they're number 129. There's only 131 college football teams. The 3rd slowest pace in all of college football, slower than both Army and Navy. That's the Kentucky Wildcats. Has a lot to do with why they're such an under-trender. I still don't think the market's fully in tuned here. And last thing, this is going to be a theme throughout the whole video, guys. Weather in Lexington, Kentucky, 36 degrees projected at kickoff, 15-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 28 miles per hour. In Lexington, Kentucky. That's not really conducive to scoring a whole lot of points. 48.5. I don't think they get near a half 100 here. Bet the under 48.5, Kentucky and Georgia for our first game. I'm Drew Martin. This is presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred provides the most personalized betting experience on the market, from in-person events with betting competitions, weekly promotional offers that fit your betting size and patterns, and the personal touch you won't get anywhere else. Betfred Sportsbook gives you more. Next game up, staying in the SEC. 2 of these are in the SEC. I guess it's an out-of-conference game, though. 7:30 Eastern in Columbia, Missouri. We're talking New Mexico State at Missouri. We're seeing the Tigers minus 29 at home, 46.5 being the total. Guys, going at this, kind of almost the same theme as the first one, both in terms of profile, where the total is, and the spread. You know, we're getting kind of a big favorite here. And looking at these 2 teams, they've both trended towards the under as well. New Mexico State, 3 overs, 6 unders on the season. Missouri, 2 overs, 8 unders on the season. That combines for 5 and 14 under trend. Trend is our friend in sports betting. We're riding it again towards the under 46.5 in this one. Look, Missouri's last game against Tennessee, they let up 66 points to the Volunteers. Now, Tennessee can really run it up offensively if you let them. Unfortunately for Missouri fans, they did. Before that, though, Missouri had 8 straight unders. So they're 1-8 to the under their last 9. And I almost think we get a little cushion here with them giving so many points last week, now facing a New Mexico State team that isn't going to do anything similar to Tennessee in terms of talent on offense. And it's almost that same theme with New Mexico State. They played a team called Lamar, which is, I believe, an FCS team, and not a very good one either. They're 1-9 in the Southland Conference, and they scored 51 points against Lamar. So we're getting that kind of same cushion with a lot of points being scored in their last game. Now facing each other, I don't think that's going to be the case. Remember, Missouri 1-8, their last 9 to the under. New Mexico State 3 straight unders before that, and 2 of them include 39-point totals. This total is almost 10 points more than that. New Mexico State, the number 126 offense in the country in terms of total offense. There's only 131 teams, guys, so bottom 5 total offense and bottom 7 passing offense, so they can't really throw the ball either. The one thing they do good, talking about the Aggies, besides being from Las Cruces, beautiful town there, had a lot of fun on the drive back from Las Vegas to the state of Florida, but they do play pass defense. 12th best pass defense in the country, letting up 175 yards per game. So they got a shot at least slowing down Missouri's passing attack. And last thing here, guys, both of them very run-heavy, run percentage teams, meaning the times that they run an offensive play, heavy percentages towards the run, keeping the clock running, 58% and 55% run respectfully here. So 46.5 to the under, New Mexico State and Missouri, and staying on that weather theme, guys. 25 degrees, 7-mile-an-hour winds, as high as 16-mile-an-hour winds in Columbia, Missouri. So New Mexico State, Missouri to the under. Shout out to the sponsor, Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred, partners of the Bengals, Broncos in the NFL, and the Rockies in Major League Baseball. Season tickets to every pro sports team in the states we are in. Talking about Betfred Sportsbook, more than fair limits and market offerings to our players, improving the product with the cutting edge market offering, like the recent IMG golf product that has the best in-game markets and live visuals to follow the match inside our Betfred Sportsbook app. Whether you're betting college football, the World Cup coming up, NFL, college basketball, the NBA, check out Betfred, sponsor of the show. Betfred gives you more. Last game here, guys. Duke and Pitt kicking us off on Saturday. We have 12 noon. That's this game coming up. Then we have 3:30 Georgia and Kentucky, and 7:30 Eastern time, New Mexico State and Missouri. So some action throughout your Saturday here, guys. We got Duke at Pitt in the ACC, 49.5 being the total. We're seeing the Pittsburgh Panthers minus 7-point home favorites. First off, the weather, guys, 33 degrees, 14-mile-an-hour winds, as high as 30-mile-an-hour winds in Pittsburgh. You guessed it. We are going to the under. 3 straight unders. Hopefully go 3-0, if not 2-1, guys. 49.5. Betting it to the under. We get Pitt here. Top 15 total defense. Top 10 rushing defense. And looking at Duke's side of things, actually Duke has, I'm going to pull it back in terms of them combined. Bottom 20 in terms of seconds per snap for both of these two teams. So kind of the same thing as Georgia and Kentucky. Not a whole lot of snaps projected in this game. Not a whole lot of plays. We get number 13 and number 14 in the nation in terms of pace of play. Those are both bottom 20 and both over 55% of their plays being rushing attempts. And here's the kicker, guys. The last 3 games, Duke has gone to 59% of their plays on the run, and Pitt has gone to 61% of their plays on the run. So as the season's gotten later, it's more running plays. That's something I kind of like to pound on in the betting markets. I think that's underrated. And the Duke pass defense, the one weakness here on the defense is number 107 in the country, letting up over 260 yards. But going back to that weather, I think actually the Blue Devils are going to get helped out here because it's 33 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour winds, up to 30-mile-an-hour gusts here, guys. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of passing. 49.5 as the total. Bet it under Duke and Pitt. That is the last game on the slate. We'll recap it here. Shout out to Betfred Sportsbook, guys. Check them out, Betfred Sports on Twitter as well. And hey, it provides the most personalized betting experience on the market. Fair prices all around. Betfred gives you more. If you're liking the content, please smash the like button. Feel free to comment below. Let me know you're watching, what you're up to this weekend, what you're looking to bet, as I'm heading to Auburn, Alabama to watch Western Kentucky and Auburn. A kicker there. I am going to bet minus 4.5 here on Auburn. Also betting UCLA plus 2.5 for two little promos there, two little bonus picks, if you will, on the Saturday card, guys. But for the three bets in recap for the show, Georgia, Kentucky under 48.5, New Mexico State, Missouri 46.5 to the under, and Duke and Pitt under 49.5. It's getting cold, guys. Betting these unders, defensive football. Let's cash these tickets. Smash that like